Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2019. Welcome to Amnicon Studio. Even though I posted a video last week, it's been a while since I recorded. I last recorded at the beginning of September, then promptly got hit by a virus followed by something else and was pretty much useless for the whole month and didn't get a whole lot done. And besides, I'm sure you guys didn't want to hear me coughing and sneezing and looking miserable, so it's been a quiet month on the knitting front. My son started school at the beginning of September and he's enjoying it so far. It's his first year at the high school. And he's doing okay in all of his classes so far. We just had school conferences and all the teachers love him and adore him, so yay, I'm happy about that. Okay. I'm still working on the two things that I had started on the last episode. First thing I will show you is my nanner socks. Yarn is the Knit Picks Bear yarn that I dyed so many years ago. When Plurk first became a thing and Wendy Johnson wrote up a pattern for the Dancing Banana or the Dancing Banana guy, and I knit up this yarn. The light doesn't show it true. It's very yellow, very sunny yellow. And I actually can't remember if I had started the toe when I recorded last, or if I just showed you the ball of yarn. Here is the toe of the sock. I have started this twice. You would think that an easy pattern, easy simple lace, would not be complicated, but apparently I'm either not 100% yet, or this is just too much for my brain. Let's see, the first time I knit, I got about that far into it, and I looked and realized that I had managed to majorly mess up the pattern. Things were going kind of wonky. And I thought about it and I decided to rip it out. I had first taken out the needles and tried ripping back. And then I decided I did not want to mess with trying to pick up those little stitches. It just wasn't worth it. So I ripped it all back, restarted the toe, and started the pattern again. And I got not even through the first repeat and I realized I had messed it up again. And of course it's way at the beginning of it, somewhere in there, I managed to forget a yarn over. So I spent a little bit of time last weekend tinking it back, and then I looked at it again, thought, do I want to keep tinking or do I just want to rip and start over? Because it takes me maybe an hour to do that toe. I wasn't sure, so I put it in timeout, and timeout was in my husband's truck, and I actually, right before recording, I pulled this out, and I'm looking at it again, and I don't know. It's like I'm determined to make this pair of socks with this yarn because that's what I dyed the yarn for. But I'm not happy that this pattern is just messing with me, and I keep flubbing it up. I thought I could make it work, add a few stitches, do extra decreases, but somehow the stitch count went off, and I don't know. I'll probably end up ripping it. all the way and starting over again, because I don't think I'll be happy if I try to flub my way through it. Like I said, the yarn was Knit Picks Yarn Bear, the dyeable kind, and the needles is excuse me, US 1 2.5 millimeter. And actually, while I'm recording, one needle gone, two needles gone, off the needles. No excuse to not rip it back. The other thing that I've been working on is my Leah pattern that is free from knitty.com. The last time I recorded, I said I hadn't done a gauge swatch and was just kind of winging it. I'm still sort of winging it. I did try making a gauge swatch with another skein of yarn. Excuse me. And the gauge was coming out okay, so I decided to just keep going with what I was doing. And I did the whole lower body in basically one weekend. I'm still, let's see, I did this cruising along merrily, watching the original It movie, Stephen King's It. And when I got to this part, because the whole chart is done now, and you gotta start dividing for the upper part, splitting for the neckline and the sleeves maybe. I'm not sure, I haven't looked that far ahead. I did try this on. You can see it, I'm not on, there's no needles. It took me forever to find these. But I put those on, I tried it on, and my hope is that it will grow just a little bit. It fits. It does fit. It might be a little snug. I know there's supposed to be negative ease on this. But what I'm hoping for is that the yarn will bloom when I wash it and grow a little bit. My stitch gauge was on. I didn't pay attention to my row gauge. And when this part is done, you're supposed to have, I can't remember if it was 14 or 15 inches. 15 inches. I have 14 inches in length. So I must have been knitting tighter than I thought I was. Because you can still see through the fabric. And that kind of bothers me. And I don't know if that is okay or not, but still winging it. I said that is Knit Picks bulky yarn in the Garnet Heather colorway. And I really like this color, and I think it looks good with me. It is knit on US 11s, which is 8 millimeters. And I haven't touched this since I finished the chart pattern, which the chart pattern almost did me in. There was a new increase that I hadn't used before, and I hadn't printed out that part of the pattern. I think I had printed just the essentials. In that part, the explanation of the different stitches apparently wasn't essential. So it took me a little while to figure out what this was, what it meant. And when I found that out, I went on YouTube and looked up how to do this increase. And apparently it was the wrong one, because I was coming up short with my stitches in between the stitch markers for the chart. And I finally said, can anybody help me? I went into one of my knitting groups and said, has anybody done this before? I don't understand it. And one of my friends, it came through for me, and she said, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And she tried to explain it, and I still wasn't grasping it. And she had her daughter record her while she made the increases, and I am so grateful that she did. You know, yay for the internet and videos and knitting friends who have done things that you haven't. So once I got that figured out, thank you, Monica. I was able to just zoom through the chart and kind of trust the pattern. Before that, I was looking at it going, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to work. And I just trust the pattern, it'll work. And it did. I guess a few other people have had issues with some stuff with this pattern. And I will be keeping that in mind, particularly for the neckline. I guess some people have had some issues. This week, I would love to say that I have been all about the spinning for the Spin Together event that was put on. Unfortunately, I don't know who actually started this, but if you go to spintogether.com, I think all the details are there, and I'll link it in the show notes at amniconstudio.blogspot.com. This week is a spinning event / challenge, teams, all that good stuff. Sort of a, well, I've never participated in Spinzilla, but I'm guessing that this is in place of that since Spinzilla is not happening this year. And after doing Tour de Fleece, I had wanted to do Spinzilla, so I was kind of bummed that they canceled it this year, and then this other thing happened. So I have been spinning an hour at minimum every night since Sunday, and I think the challenge ends Saturday at midnight. Let's see, it runs October 6th to the 12th. So I have one bobbin full, and I packed it full as I could get it without it hitting the without being stopped by the spinning wheel. The, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. The part with the hooks that spins around the bobbin. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Anyways, I am spinning fairly consistently. I'm spinning for a sweater pattern for my husband. I have the pattern all picked out. I've got like 4.5 pounds, at least 4 pounds of this fiber. And my intent is to ply it and hopefully get a worsted weight 2-ply. So this took me, let's see, I started spinning it Sunday a little bit. I finished this last night. I started the new bobbin, and I'm a little less than halfway through on that one. And I have realized that I'm not a very fast production spinner, but I'm getting really consistent with my spinning on this, and I'm really happy about that. My go-to spinning seems to be the short backward draw. I'm not even going to attempt to spin woolen. In theory, I like the idea of spinning woolen. I tried plying woolen yarn and it didn't work so great for me. I had a lot of breaking, and that was frustrating. So even though the yarn that I'm trying to spin to match, the pattern said it was spun woolen, I'm not going to try to do that. I'll keep spinning until Sunday, and then I will probably keep spinning, but not every night because I have a lot of fiber to get through on this. But at the same time, I want to get that sweater done. And I may just not even pay attention to that sock until I'm closer to being done with the sweater, or I'm done with it completely. So that is all the crafting that I've been doing. Late afternoon, I'm drinking coffee, but it's really good. Let's see. Coffee talk. I kind of touched a little bit on it already. I'm still recovering. I still have a bit of a dry cough. There's going to be no other sections on this podcast episode because I haven't been doing a lot in the kitchen, unless you count the bundt cake I made on Monday to bring in to work yesterday, which it was a hit. I don't make bundt cakes too often, but it was such a nice day that I decided that my coworkers really needed a spice bundt cake. Hunting season has started, bow season. I missed opener because of being sick, but I did sit out a couple weekends ago now, I think. The weather, for the most part, has been nice, ideal, except for last week when it was raining, kind of drizzling, like Washington, I suppose. I've never been in Washington, but I heard a lot of people say this must be what it's like to live in Washington or England. I have not been reading. I hope to remedy that soon. The book that I had started, Gaudy Nights by Dorothy Sayers, I ended up buying a digital version on my Kindle for it, so now I can take as long as I want with it and really go through it and pick it apart as best I can, I suppose. Let's see. Rabbits are okay. Rabbits are doing good. I'm still trying to think of a winter setup for them. Loki and Thor, the ones that we adopted, who was Haas and Pfeffer's babies, or parents, they have been very fruitful this summer and multiplied greatly. And I don't want to have to deal with babies in the winter. I don't know how rabbit cycles go. If they do stay true to the seasons and don't get pregnant in the winter, but I don't want to deal with potentially, losing babies because it's too cold out. So still trying to think of that one. Shadow, my whole meal. She's still living out in the coop. We had a surprise litter from her. Shouldn't have been a surprise because somebody keeps letting her loose and she keeps running out with Pfeffer, who is a free-range bun, but he likes to pretend he's free and wild, but he'll come in and let you pick him up, and he'll snuggle with you a little bit, and then he decides he wants to be free and wild again. But he's got the life. He's got a good life. So the baby buns that we do have are almost ready to come into the house and start getting socialized and everything, and I will find them forever homes, and hopefully that will be it until next spring. Fingers crossed. Chickens. The chickens are doing well. I spotted a little egg in the coop yesterday, but I didn't think to grab it, and I don't think my son grabbed it when he was collecting eggs. So the little girls are starting to lay. Somebody is. We lost one of our pet chickens I've mentioned Weeping Belle before. She was an Americana. A couple weekends ago, she started slowing down and not talking quite as much, and we're not sure what happened. She's just gone. Maybe a predator got her, or I would like to think that she was very stoic and went off on her own so my son wouldn't have to find her in the coop or something, which I think he was hoping that all chickens will go into the coop and pass away there, because that's what happened with Grandma P. Which, if you don't know who Grandma P is, she was another pet. She was our favorite hen for a good many years. We got her when she was, oh, she was at least 3 years old, maybe. Bought her from somebody local. He didn't know what breed she was. I mean, she had to have been a cross of something, but she's the reason why we have Brahma chickens. So we were looking at the different breeds, trying to figure out what she might have been, and the Brahmas have the same body shape as her. So every once in a while when I'm out in the yard and I see one of the hens run by, just out of the corner of my eye, I think, oh, Grandma P. No, she's not here. The garden was very good to us this year. Ate lots of cauliflower, broccoli, tomatoes. Tomatoes did fantastic this year. Ate a lot of jalapenos. My husband loves the jalapeno poppers, so I made a lot of those. This was the first year with the grapes. I don't think I mentioned those in the last one, but our Concord grapes produced for the first time this year, and then the raccoons got a lot of them, although there's still some on the vine, and I ate a few today, and they're perfectly sweet. Very good, very good. I did discover this morning that, let's see, over next to the garden, I have a nice little setup and a grapevine growing on it. It's down. Well, I'd like to think that it was the wind, but my husband thinks it might have been a bear that came through and knocked the whole thing down going after the grapes, which I think it was last weekend I thought about setting up the suit cakes for the bird feeders, and I ended up not doing that. I'm glad now, because the bears would have come through and bent all my shepherd's hooks, and they can't handle much more bending. Let's see. Oh, the audio version of my videos, they have aggregated over, and now you can subscribe to it on the Google Play Store and iTunes, which when I got the notification that my podcast had been accepted on iTunes, I kind of feel like I've arrived now. There's a few other podcatchers feeds that it's accepted on that I can't remember what those ones are. But the main two, the Google Play Store and iTunes, now has it. So if you want to hear the audio only version of this, you can, and not use up a lot of your data. I'm trying to think if there's any other housekeeping stuff. I don't think so. You can see it's bright outside. Everything's kind of blown out. It's a beautifully sunny day. The wind is really blowing, which is unfortunate. because a storm is coming. And all the leaves on the trees are going to be gone probably after this weekend. We're almost at peak color. I went for a walk this morning. I took a few pictures of the colors. It's mostly a lot of the reds are gone. It's the golden colors and a little bit of browns, and then like the deep burgundies. So, well, I guess that is all I have to share with you this week. I'm still trying to get into a regular schedule, and I'm still kind of off of what I'd ideally would like to do. But, yeah, I'm a work in progress, just like most everyone else, I suppose. So until next time, take care. Bye.